Mr. Speaker, with Bill 1, this government signalled that they will implement social impact bonds, a failed UK austerity scheme which outsources the delivery of crucial social services. The truth about these bonds is summed up well by the leader of the UK official opposition. The government is, quote, cynically attempting to dignify its cuts agenda by dressing up the withdrawal of support with the language of reinvigorating civic society, end quote. Can the Minister of Finance explain why, instead of funding programs for Alberta's most vulnerable citizens, proposes instead to fund wealthy investors who will profit from the misery of others?
Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, the honourable member must not have been present or did not hear my speech to Bill 1 last night in this House. He would have then realized that Bill 1 is in addition to what is our normal operating budget. And in fact, what the endowment is set to do is to do things that are outside the normal operations of government, is to do things that would be innovative to try to solve some of these complex problems. I would suggest that the honourable member might want to talk to people like the Edmonton Community Foundation and some of the not-for-profits who are eagerly awaiting the ability to try some of these innovative ideas.
Honourable member.
Eagerly awaiting for stable, predictable funding.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, given that we've seen this government's attempts to undermine the public sector and cut funding to nonprofits, all part of privatization by stealth, and given that stable, predictable funding for public services is the #1 priority for Albertans, why is this government pursuing an unproven scheme that will allow investors to profit off Alberta's most vulnerable?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, it's a very narrow interpretation of a social innovation fund to say that it's all about social impact financing. However, that's not to say that one shouldn't keep an open mind to every different way of financing social operation. We have social issues in this province. We have a social policy framework put in place. What we need to do is to get the community to embrace those issues, to step forward into those issues and make sure that every Albertan has a chance to succeed. Social impact financing is one way and only one part of the Social Innovation Fund.
Honourable member, final question.
So the minister is basically summing up that they are going to privatize social services. Given that in 2011, the Premier promised to implement social impact bonds, given that in 2012, she promised to end child poverty in 5 years. For some reason, this government's only keeping one of those promises, the one that benefits wealthy investors and endangers the services which lift children out of poverty. To the Premier, why?
It's absolutely absurd to suggest that wealthy financiers are going to get more wealthy off social impact bonds. Social impact bonds or social impact financing is a way in which investors can show social conscience and then use their money in a social way in the community and take a lower return but benefit the community. But again, the Social Innovation Fund is about so much more than just social financing. It's about how we bring innovation to the social agenda, and that's an extremely important initiative for this government and this province.